Hello, and welcome to another behind the scenes look at my book, No Escape. We'll be talking about chapter 3 today. Before we get into the actual chapter, I've gone back and looked at the cover. I got some feedback about the title placement. It kind of gets lost up at the top and it's a little small. Um, and just how important is my name on the cover anyway? But um, so making my name a little smaller. The feedback I got was to switch places with my name and the title, and I didn't like that. So by making my name smaller, putting it below or even further down on the cover, I felt like that was a better fit. And then of course putting the no escape in bigger letters there really helps make it pop. Really helps draw your attention to Queen Michaela and her eyes here. So that's really what I wanted to go for. So that came to fruition with this new edition of the cover. So I'm happier with it and I'm glad for the feedback that I've been given. So if anybody else has feedback, please email me, Matthew at olson777.com. Um, can't guarantee that I can make everyone happy, but if you're thinking some change, I'll listen. So this chapter is called Free, and the bulk of it is two conversations. And the first is with a unintroduced uh, minor character, at least to this point, named Lady Edith. Um, she's kind of the town um, gossip. So she's like, "Hey, Caden's back in town. Hey, why don't you tell me all about that? I hear there's, heroics and whatever with your escape. You need to tell me more." Uh, and he's kind of like, well, this is kind of a bad time and a bad place for that. Let's talk later, kind of thing. So he's brushing it off. He doesn't want to remember, actually. You get from the internalization that he does not want to talk about his captivity. He does not want to talk about his escape. He does not really want to be reminded. He wants to forget about it. He wants to just be here in the present. He's also on the lookout in trying to get Michaela aside to talk in private. Um, so that's kind of his motivation here is how can he approach her? Because there's still people in line congratulating her or whatever, trying to talk to her. He doesn't want to stand in line even. He goes to the punch bowl. Punch is got alcohol in it. He hasn't had alcohol really in the last 5 years, other than when he was tortured with some peyote. So he's everything about this situation is uncomfortable for him, and Lady Edith is just adding to that. So he placates her and is like, "Hey, after the wedding, we can get together. We can do something. Maybe even have an open forum so that multiple people can hear my story at once and not just you. And make it more convenient for him." And she sees the point and value in that, and so she's like, "Yeah, I'll help you set that up." So um, he's able to brush her off. Marcel steps in though, and so now we're starting to see him and what his motivation is here. And this, at first, Caden's, taken aback. He's actually being nice to me. What the heck? He's actually not minding that I'm here. So there's this surprise factor. But Marcel is also, he is trying to get a little bit of information from him. He's like, so what are your motives for being here? Um, there's almost a throwaway question of um, so how do you feel to be free? And and Caden is like, he looks at the at Michaela, and he's like, "Am I free?" So this is one of those turning points of, okay, we've kind of seen this little of conflict with Michaela, and in that, he's their exes, but also now it's kind of taking a turn. What is this actual relationship, and what's it going to be going forward? Um, so that's the big question here, and Marcel is helping to bring that out, but also there's this surprise factor of them being um, being nice to each other, and but then Marcel's kind of like, well, are you after my job? And he's like, Caden is like, well, I mean, you're going to be king. Wouldn't you want somebody to replace you as Lord Commander of the army? Um, and also, well, even in talking with Lady Edith, there's this question of, is he still going to be able to have that Lord title? He's been gone for 5 years. What happened to his lands that he's held on to? He's definitely not commander anymore, but could he be? Uh, so Caden kind of proposes, maybe 3 months I need to get retrained before I step into a commander role, or whatever role Marcel would like him to be in the army at least. And then of course, with him being king, or will be king the next day, uh, this could also mean that Caden can get back his title, his lordship, through him. So that's kind of he's Caden's already starting to feel those uh, things out and figure out where are they going forward from here. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So not a lot going on in this chapter as far as action, but definitely a lot of things going on in behind the scenes with the cerebral layers and whatnot. We're going to see more of the subplot and plot going forward, and be able to tell, or answer these questions of why is Michaela so dangerous? What is Caden now trying to escape? Because he's escaped the enemy, but he feels like he hasn't escaped yet. So yeah, what's going on there? We're gonna find that out and a lot more. So stay tuned.